안녕하세요. Hello. Today is the 16th of June and it's been record temperatures here in London. It's been very hot for June. It's the demon cat. As soon as I start talking, very pixie, what to be in the video. Anyway, what I wanted to say is this week my latest weight loss strategy is that I have made a little photo shrine near my fridge of udwanshi and taemin, and just to remind me not to eat naughty things when I go to the fridge. I shall insert a picture here. Isn't that funny? But yet very stylish and sophisticated, and they're it's double-sided, so when I get fed up looking at one picture I can flip it over and look at another picture. But what in Korea they are always asking, what's your type, what's your style? My style's this, my type is this. You know, they're kind of quite interested in what your type of lover, your prospective lover is. And whilst I wouldn't say no to Chris Hemsworth and Chris Pine and any of the Avengers really, who would say no? They're all delicious. I rather do go for what the Koreans call flower boys. I like quite effeminate, well, girly, not effeminate. I do like a masculine, manly man, but I also like the makeup. I did have a boyfriend in the 80s, late 90s, in the 90s, who he used to dye his hair. Well, I used to dye his hair bright blonde, and he used to wear eyeliner, and he was rather delicious, and he looked a bit like Taemin actually, but English. And anyway, I particularly like their smooth hair, Taemin and Udwani. I like their smooth hair and their smooth skin and their voluptuous lips, and the Udwan's voice and Taemin's singing voice. But Udwan's voice is just hits that spot. And I've kind of scrutinised pictures of them because I thought, if they got plastic surgery, you know, I thought surely they can't be that beautiful naturally, but they are. I've looked at the pictures of them when they were young, compared them, and they are naturally stunningly adorable. And also, I have paused the Vogue video of Udwan, trying to catch him out really, I blew up a picture of his skin, and I was actually much relieved to see that he had a teeny tiny scar on his cheek and some slight bumps on his nose, which actually means he is human, and that translucent skin that is probably only for aliens is not 100%. I mean, it's still just marvellously gorgeous, and I don't know how I'd ever get that skin at all. I mean, I think genetically it's Korean to have that genetic. In fact, the plastic surgeon did tell me they have different anatomy and an extra layer of skin, an extra layer of fat near the surface of the skin, which a lot of Koreans makes them look so porcelain-like. But anyway, you know, back to my type. my favourite pop singer of a few years ago was Ricky Martin, and first time when I saw him singing Living La Vida Loca, I thought, that's the man for me. His smile, the voice, everything just made me think, I'm going to marry this man. And everyone kept saying to me, but Carol, he's gay. No, he's not gay, but he's orange. Yeah, he's orange, but no, he's not gay. He's just, that's just the way the South American or people from San Juan are, slightly effeminate. Well, he wasn't even effeminate, actually. They kept telling me he's gay, and I finally believed it when he got 2 twins by a surrogate mum and got married to a rather handsome man. It still didn't stop me loving him, though, and I just decided, maybe I'll find someone like him. So I went on Amor, which was a dating app at the time, and I don't know, it was very odd. I had a lot of men that looked like they'd just come out of a western and should be wearing a poncho, with the moustache as well. They looked like Colombian drug lords, but also mentioned Jesus quite a lot in their message to me. So I went off that site quite quickly. But anyway, it's led me to believe that maybe my best plan of action would be to have gender reassignment and become a gay man. I should maybe become a gay man, and then I'd have no trouble finding, although a gay man probably wouldn't want a has-been lady. I don't know. And also I don't know about the bum part. Not that I'm saying that I've heard that Taemin or Hwan are lick the other side of the stamp. I haven't heard that at all. So I'm still hoping in my fantasy that they have a penchant for older ladies. But check out Shinee, Taemin. He is a member of a band called Shinee, and I have become a fan. They are quite remarkable, and all of them are beautiful, actually, and they've been together for 14 years. So, I'm surprised I haven't heard of them until now. And they're all quite stunning. Minho, Onu, and Kpop, and they're all quite delicious, and they're the sort of people that would still look stunningly beautiful even if they were photographed after a heavy night of drinking, vomiting. If they took a picture as close as I am now with vomit, not blurred out like they do in the K-drama. Don't bite me! Go away, horrible cat. They could have loads of vomit coming out and they'd still look beautiful. They could even be leaning in some really awful dingy toilet that hadn't been cleaned and was full of poo stains up the wall, and they'd still just look like they were chic and divine. And I think that would probably make a good album cover, actually. Like that sort of, instead of vomit coming out like this, but it could be like puke that had lots of little images of little, like say one of their cars was, one of their tracks was about driving in a car, then you could have a little car, and then you could have, if they had a track about shagging, they could have little people shagging. So amongst the spray of, it could be in a rainbow vomit, could be amongst the rainbow vomit, they could have just lots of little kind of tumbling out images related to each track. there you go, Shinee, I give you that album cover. I give you that idea for free. You can have that. My creativity. You don't have to pay me. It's yours. Apart from that, I think Taemin is probably my favourite, and his solo album music videos are all very steamy and, you know, very stylish, very steamy, and yet not very, very intimate in the sense that it's kind of like he's singing about wanting you in a one-night stand kind of way, I think, because he's not smiling and saying, you know, I want you, I love you, you know, Bogoshipo, I miss you. He's saying, oh, I want you, you know, you're sexy, you're gorgeous, I'm sexy, you know. And anyway, I do wonder about the little fans, whether they get it or not, but I enjoy it very much. And the reason why I like Taemin so much is because I've watched a lot of the other videos that come around it, and he seems hysterically funny as well. I mean, they all are. I mean, all four of them are really funny. But I'm going to insert a clip now which I hope will help you understand why I find him in particular so endearing. So here's the clip.
바지에 오픈 히어 써 있는 그 바지만 아니면 좋겠어요.
나 그런 적 있었어? 네. 아 뭐야? 나 몰랐네. 아 뭐야? 나 몰랐네. 여기 오 몰랐어. 여기 몰랐어.
태민 씨.
오 몰랐어. 여기 왜 있는 거야? 몰랐어.
아니 입으면서 보지 않으셨어요? 전혀 아무것도 모른다는 표정으로.
저 몰랐어요. 나 이거 오늘 알았어.
아무것도 모르고 정말 답답해 죽겠네요.
어이가 없어.
야, 오픈 히어는 좀 세긴 하다, 근데.
저 바지만 아니면 된대요.
어이구야.
샤월이 많이 놀라셨나봐요, 저거 보고. 어떤 식으로 2021년 버전 나오면 좋을 것 같은지.
근데 진짜 정말 디테일하고 저희가 생각하지 못한 부분을 좀 캐치하신 것 같아서.
저 바지만 아니면 돼.
Was that funny? I think it was. Anyway, I watched a clip of Shinee in concert at the Tokyo Dome, and they are like the size of an ant on the stage. And the Tokyo Dome, I looked this up, seats 57,000 people. And so you can imagine maybe there is even 47,000 people, and they all shine these lights, which are little shiny emblems, the little diamond in aqua colour lights, which is part of Shinee. See, I'm a real Shawwal now. That's what they call a Shinee fan. I am a new Shinee fan, and they showed the reverse shot of the fans in the auditorium or the dome. And I have to say, made me cry, made me have a panic attack, because it must be just so overwhelming to have 47,000 people watching you and screaming at you. And amongst all those people, I wondered how many serious stalkers there must be amongst those fans. I mean, I myself would become a stalker if I could be bothered to put my underwear on and get dressed and go out. I would probably be quite a good stalker because I'm quite patient. But I kind of imagine outside these megastars' houses, in you know, Taemin's house, there must be at any one time at least 200 crazy stalkers milling about, and they must even know each other. So, 안녕하세요, 안녕하세요. Yeah, is he in? Yeah, he's in. Have you eaten? Yeah, I've eaten. That's the greeting in Kpop Kdrama. I don't know. I can't remember what it is, but it's have you eaten? Have you eaten? They're obsessed by food. Always talking about food. Like we say, no, you're obsessed by food. I know. As that we say, are you all right? They say, you know, have you eaten? And I can imagine say Taemin comes out of his house, you know, wipes his nose with a tissue and goes to put it in his pocket, but as it always, you know, often does, it falls out onto the ground, and he drives off. Can you imagine the mayhem afterwards, where 200 crazy stalkers come dive, wanting that snotty tissue that Taemin has dropped, and you know there'd be hair pulling, and it'd be a bit like a cartoon fight with like bam, pow, lots of birds, you know, as some of them a bit dazed from being, you know, elbowed in the eye, and in the end there would be one triumphant stalker who managed to get away, which would be me. I would have got away with that snotty tissue, and I would take it home and I would buy myself a crisper, and I would genetically engineer my own Taemin so I could have him as my own love slave. But then I'm not quite sure whether he'd have the same personality or not. So, and also maybe snot DNA would come out, you know, make some kind of K-pop singing, dancing blob monster and not a sex monster. Well, it's something to think about, you know. Could I make a love slave out of a snotty tissue or not? I mean, apart from that, which I keep saying apart from that, I do actually wonder if I ever had a stalker, whether it would be very interesting for them, because, you know, my neighbour even puts my rubbish out, so they wouldn't even have the joy of seeing me roll out the wheelie bins every week. I mean, the only exciting thing that might happen is they might see me chasing after an escapee ferret down the road, which has happened on several occasions. The ferret in question, his name was Muffy, and as soon as that door opened, he would be like a ninja. I'd think he was sleeping, and suddenly he would appear and dash out of the door, and he would like to make me chase him up and down the road, often in the middle of winter with no shoes on, laughing at me. He would laugh and laugh at me while he would dodge underneath the parked cars, and he would just avoid being caught. Sometimes I would like just about grab him and he'd slip away and laugh. And even my neighbour sometimes would come out, because it was often late in the night, would come out in his underwear and very little else, his bathrobe, and we would both be, you know, ducking and diving round the cars trying to catch this naughty Muffy. And perhaps the only other interesting thing that this stalker would see is, on occasion, I have a cat who likes to wander off. She wanders off for miles and she follows people. She thinks it's hilarious. And I used to have a tracking collar on her, and so I could see every night. I used to check where she was, and if she'd gone a bit too far, I'd go and collect her. So I'd often take the ferret with me on a lead, and the other 3 cats would follow. So I would often be in my night dress, because it was maybe 1 or 2 in the morning, and round here it's very quiet in the London suburbs, and so I would walk to go and track her, and with 3 cats and a ferret, and on the way back there would be 4 cats obviously and a ferret, and I think the stalker might enjoy that. It might be the highlight of his year or her year, whoever would bother stalking me. But yes, I gave up with that tracking collar in the end, because whenever she did get lost and I wanted to find her, the battery had run out, or my money on the SIM card had run out. So it was pretty pointless unless you're just curious as to where your cat goes. And my cat goes a long way away. But now she has like her tag, her collar works just as well, because around midnight she gets a bit bored and she just dives into someone's house when she's gone a bit too far and doesn't know her way back. And so I just get in the car and go and pick her up. So don't worry about her. Anyway, I'm going to leave that there and tell you more about my Taemin love next time, and my Udon. Anyway, goodbye. Hope that was funny.